So I'm waiting for that period just to forget GNOME for the moment and just love cinnamon.
Yeah, I tried.
I have no control over your gain, Leo, whatsoever. I don't know why.
I pumped it up a little bit.
Oh yeah, you did. It's fine.
Yeah, sounds okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying. Normally, I've got. Of course, I haven't.
No,
used this in
I
a
think
long
you
time.
guys are hot. Okay.
Well, it's bouncing around -12.
Listen, that's right, Eric. That's right.
So nice of you.
What does that mean, hot? If you say, maybe it means something different over here, over the pond.
Loud.
No, that was a double entendre.
That's right.
Yeah, because
you look good
double
entendre,
and
okay.
yeah,
he was trying to boost
the
our
mic itself.
spirits. I mean, he comes in, he lifts you up a little, knocks you down, builds you back up.
Look at this. I boost Eric's spirit and I boost my own gain. And
let's put it this way: you don't want to make yourself vulnerable with the things you say. I'm just saying this is not a safe place.
It's gonna happen. Just let it happen, Bill.
I've let it happen so many times.
Leo, what's on your T-shirt? Princess?
Bubblegum.
It's
a show called Adventure Time. My wife really loves it, but it's been years, right? Like I wore black on black pants, black shirts, black glasses.
I know that.
I was like, okay.
Trousers. Oh, well, that's a good shirt. It just goes, you don't have to worry.
Yep.
That's right.
Only the dust is your only enemy, or dandruff if you've got that,
Yes, yeah, that was.
Yeah,
that's
struggle.
Always check in the mirror, just like.
All right,
that's it.
Let me.
Oh, okay, see the T-shirt.
Let me bring up our webpage so I get the episode number right, because I've been known to screw that up.
69.
Bring it up now.
69.
Episode
How could I forget?
69.
Oh, I know.
Oh my gosh.
Is it really?
That's almost as good as 6-7.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
almost.
Majid's not here to capitalize.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
69?
What do you mean? What's 69?
Majid's right there.
That's like
they
77. You
same.
get 8 more.
I'm just teasing.
Anyway, or maybe 67. You do me and I'll owe you one. Or 68. I mean,
yeah. Carlin had a whole thing on that. I forget what he said.
One of the most brilliant minds to ever walk this earth.
I'm telling you, man. He lives in here. They say someone lives on whenever you think about them or whatever.
They do.
Oh, George
Carlin.
Yeah.
George Carlin. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do a 3, 2, 1. Give me 20 seconds of open mic silence.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, I know.
Do the thing.
Well, this just because we're using. I mean, this gives me raw audio. This way of doing it. So
Raw audio.
That's what you
Let's
want.
do it.
I got your raw audio.
That's it.
3, 2, 1. Of course, it helps to hit the record button when you do that.
Do you need to do it again, Bill?
No, I caught it.
We need twice the raw audio.
Everyone gets 4 channels.
Actually, I wanted to try something new, but we needed to get on early to try it because I can do this thing now. I have figured out a Craig-like experience with using this because...
But it's not hosted on a VPS, Bill.
It doesn't need to be hosted
at your
anywhere.
house. So
instead of bringing everybody in as one stream with Video Ninja, I can separate the streams. Everybody gets their own audio track, OBS creates one MKV file, but with 4 separate audio tracks. So when you import that,
yeah,
yeah,
I've seen OBS. I know you can do that in OBS.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen.
Because each
Really?
one of the on the control panel here, each one of us has got a separate URL that can be piped into OBS. You have to position all of the video streams manually, but that's the price you pay to be in business, baby. Linux OTC, welcome to episode 69. I'm Bill.
I'm Eric.
I'm Charlie.
And I'm here for the special episode.
Actually, did it wrong. Charlie should have gone second.
Yeah, Charlie. I guess we should have.
Alphabetic order.
Yeah.
No, we didn't matter.
I had no clue. I just.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is the quality you get.
Listen, this is off the cuff. All right. Listen,
it's
in every way imaginable.
That's right.
I blame the fruit bar.
In the deep end.
But to keep this energy, I want to welcome our new host, Charlie, formerly known as Immutable Charlie. How's it going today, sir?
Oh, it's going really well. So I've given up my immutable life, and now I'm on Linux Mint. Oh, so I should say LMDE. You know, I'm not going Ubuntu, but it's going really well.
Yeah,
it's great.
So what was the
great being able to install?
What was the reasoning for LMDE versus Ubuntu? I heard there was ire in there.
Well, you know, I just don't like big corporations. I don't think we should, you know. I mean, they're great, but we need to support the community-driven, community-created projects. So that's what I'm going to go with. And if you know, I want to make sure that Linux Mint continues to support it. So I just want to be. I mean, it's just I love Debian anyway. Debian is one of the best distros ever. So Debian with the layer of Linux Mint on. What else can you get that's better?
Well, there's something to be said for using it because they make it. I'm sure they see some amount of statistics of who's hitting the repos and stuff.
They know exactly how many people have it.
Well,
yeah,
you know, and so
no, they don't.
People actually use it.
No way.
Lie.
No way. How would you know?
They don't.
How would
there's
you
no
know,
difference.
They've got what do they call it? The popularity contest.
Yeah, but that's optional. You don't have to install that. They ask you.
That's an on by default kind of thing, though, isn't it?
Nope. Nope. People got mad about it
because I always turn it on because I want them to know as much as if they had like an enhanced data collection, I would for things like Debian, I would participate.
So, Bill,
I
do you turn the KDE slider all the way up? You drag it all the way to the right.
I do. I want them to have everything, and then
it feels like Charlie doesn't, though.
Well, I mean,
no.
So not even a project like KDE or Debian.
I don't mind. I don't mind something like that. That's fine, you know. But just nothing to do with anything big like Fedora or through Red Hat or anything or Ubuntu or Google. So I'm Graphene OS all the way.
This is good because
you're the only one that walks the walk in this show. Very nice.
I was going to say, we've
nice.
got Jim's pretty close too. Jim stands on principle. So I mean, not on this show, but you know, in the sphere of people I deal with or see, and I have to give you credit. And the people who can stick with it and not just cave the first time there's any friction.
He's about to tell us he installed Google Apps. Hang on.
No, I don't do Google Apps. No, I used to be a big supporter of Google, but no more. Not since they've stopped this side loading. That was the final straw for me. So that was the end. I do have a phone in my desk which has Google on it because you have to have it for
still
YouTube.
Listening.
It's switched off. It's in a Faraday box, so even when it's off, so it's just a little box like this. You know,
we got a winner.
You really walk the walk. I love this.
So it's
you thought you had him.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for you, Leo.
I think so.
Leo will.
So, but you have to have it because YouTube. And you've got, certain banks just won't work on Graphene OS. So, and then the problem is that you need the app to be able to log in online, so you're a bit sort of caught in the middle, really, over here. So
Did you
anyway,
see that,
we're hanging on as best we can in the UK, because they're just surveilling everything at the moment. So
Yeah.
let's see how it
Did you
goes.
see that Graphene both did the agreement with Motorola and said that they're going to defy the order to capture age?
That's going to be enough for Motorola to say, well, that's actually a breach of contract. We're out.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
We're going to see how that goes.
I want to see what happens. I mean, I'm sure things, because it's only just been said. So, I mean, they're well up on situations that we only find out about a month later. So I think there's going to, I think that this may have been part. Motorola wouldn't just jump into a situation like this knowing the state of affairs. But let's just see what happens. But
I'm not hopeful because of the corporations you speak of. They tend to they tend to make very selfish decisions as opposed to decisions that are good for all of us, right?
Yeah. But I mean, if anybody's, if you've tried Graphene OS, I think I've said this before. If you've tried it, let's say a year ago, and had problems because of notifications, that was always the issue. Was notifications were disastrous. You could have an important message come in, and you wouldn't know for forever on your phone. But now it's just gone so much better. I can hardly tell the difference between what it was. Except because it's not spying, it lasts for 2 days instead of like 6 hours. So, and this is the 9A. You don't need 10A because there's no difference. But it's just a great phone. Really, it's just I can't believe it now. And I don't. You can partition. You can open up the what they call the private space, and that one can have the Google's services, Play services running, but you don't need it. It just runs like a charm. And I personally, I do Obtainium. I don't use F-Droid. I prefer to get it straight from the source. I like F-Droid as well, but if I can, I do Obtainium, so it's directly from GitHub, and it's just a dream.
You're a fan of the AUR as opposed to like a full-fledged distro that'll compile your packages for you then.
Well, I never thought of it like that, but I suppose
that's how it is, right? Like, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose in some way, I just like to get it from the source, Yeah, but I mean, of course, GitHub has, a lot of people. Well, I'm hoping, a lot of people view every app that goes there. Unlike the AUR, which is a bit of a sort of cowboy town.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
If you've heard the show, you know how I feel about that.
Yeah, let's just see what the future holds. But at the moment, everything's going great. I'm loving Linux Mint. Really, it's. I mean, I haven't used it for quite some time. I've been using Linux for I've lost track now, maybe 20 years. But I used it a long time ago, and it was very, it was okay, nothing special, in my opinion. But I tried it again, and I liked it. But still, it never looks it just wasn't right. It still looks old-fashioned. It still looks a little bit old in comparison with, my opinion, GNOME. I don't like KDE. I don't have the time to KDE. Yeah. So, but I mean, yes. So that's something that. But I do. I mean, it's just an absolute. I mean, it's on the framework. It does have an issue. There is one problem with the framework, and that is you can't. And it seems to be to do with I think sort of high definition, or I was trying to find out. There's not much information out there, but you can't move your icons, your app icons, on the panel, on the GWL panel. So you've got to drag them from the menu and put them in place. They won't slide across. It seems to be a known problem. So that's the only issue I've got, but it's a minor one because once I've set up the panel, I don't touch it after that.
Are you talking about Cinnamon?
Cinnamon, yes, Cinnamon, and for both Ubuntu and because I've tried both of them.
And you put it into what do they call it?
Edit
What's
mode.
it called? Edit mode. Yeah, panel edit mode, and you still can't move them.
Still can't move. I mean, normally you don't need to go into panel edit mode to move your icons.
It looked like
you can just
for a
slide
sec.
them.
Oh, I see.
without.
Yeah, no,
It looked like for a sec Bill was getting like a breaking message, and I thought Clem
Didn't it?
maybe
I
called
thought
him.
exactly the same.
Yeah,
Well,
I was like, yeah. Clem
I
said
need to-
put it into edit mode, and that's how.
It pushes these doggone things out. I need to clean them, I guess. I don't know, but it gets popped out from moving my face. I don't push them all the way in because I want to be able to hear what's going on around me too. But yeah,
get the bone conducting. This is the way we had to talk about last time.
You got to
Amazing.
connect those through Bluetooth though, and I get a lag with anything Bluetooth when I'm doing, because this thing does the direct monitoring of my voice piped directly from the microphone, and anything Bluetooth you would have to connect it to the system, to the operating system, and that's where you'd get a lag from. Because I'm using a audio interface. Somebody back me up on this.
I guess he's right.
Yeah. Bluetooth is no, you're just never going to give me the satisfaction, are you, Leo?
No.
That guy.
I try not to, man. I try not to, but you're right. You're right. But that's
Some of them
that's
have
exactly why I spend a whole $12 on these things, right?
Yeah,
Plug it directly into the monitor
12,
for the same reason, right? Like because I'm monitoring the mic itself, and then
right.
But the answer to your problem is just get the ones that don't like nestle into your ear, or the ones that are like rubber snug in there. Don't do that. You got to have ones that just kind of like bleep, just kind of hang in there.
These are just sitting in there, and they're kind of hanging off the wire that goes around your.
Yeah, but look, if you push them in too far, they're gonna snug in there. That's what I mean.
Well, and that makes my ear sore too, so I just set it there.
And so you get one of these that just kind of.
I do have a pair of those. They don't have a long enough wire though.
So here's one thing that you might have to agree on. I need you to go out and spend $12 and get a pair of these. These are the Apple ones, just with the 3.5 mil jack.
Well, that won't work because I don't have an iPhone. Right.
A 3.5 mil jack is what you need. You plug them in like a regular set of headphones, and you check them out. See what you think.
I ain't buying no Apple headphones.
Bill, you spend so much money on all kinds of stuff all over the place.
Are they the real Apple though? Are they real Apple for $12? Are you sure now?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've come down. They're not expensive.
Oh, that's what the man in the dodgy shop told you. Was it?
Well, Amazon is the dodgy shop, so you probably are
the
correct.
van.
Yeah, well, it could be.
Yeah. No, I have no idea where those come from.
I might take you up on that just to see how well they work, because I gave up the over the ear headphones thing a long time ago because I always get echo off of those things into the microphone, and
I think might be the head inside of there,
just hollow, and it's propagating all the sound and throwing it out of my mouth. Yeah,
it happens. Yeah.
Yep, it happens. So, tell us more about you, Charlie. Where do you come from? I'm picking up a little bit of an accent there. Where
do you come from?
Well, I'm from Northern England, originally from Manchester.
Is that in Texas?
The real Manchester.
No, it's North.
The real Manchester. You know. Yes, I come from Cheshire.
Chestershire.
Chestershire would be if you put the capital of Cheshire is Chester. If you've ever been.
Interesting.
So I've been using it a long time.
The French, where you just don't pronounce half the letters. Is that how that works?
Well, it can be because we were invaded by them, so we have got a lot of French, we've screwed. Well, shall I say they screwed up our language and we screwed up your language, So, or you screwed up our language. Maybe that's a better.
Well, we
won't get back into that one again.
We did steal the Worcestershire sauce from you. How do you say that?
Worcester. Wash your sister sauce.
Wow.
Wow.
Worcestershire. That's how we say it here, anyway. My accent's a bit screwed up anyway because I've lived in numerous places, so not in the UK but overseas. So
I want you and Majid to go after it, to get after it and kind of debate how you actually pronounce this.
I think he would pronounce it the same. I think so. He's. It's like nobody says Worcestershire. That just doesn't. Nobody says like Cheshire. That's.
Sure. Yeah.
That's only for tourists.
They do here, but not over there.
Well, here they'll say Worcestershire.
No, here they'll just say, but that's smoky sauce. Put it on there.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
So I worked in tourism most of my life. I worked as a tour guide, taking groups of people from your side of the pond around Europe on a bus, and then I became a river cruise director, and then I decided it was enough, and I semi-retired. So I came back, and now I've got loads of free time, so I can fulfill another dream, which is to be here on Linux OTC.
This is where you're making all your money these days. Very nice.
Oh yeah. Well, we haven't negotiated the salary yet. I've heard it's quite good.
I'm going to go ahead and put you in the same bracket as the rest of the guys. You'll get the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's 20%.
Oh, that's very kind.
We'll renegotiate later. Yeah. I'll tell you what, you'll make just as much. Now, I won't want to tell you that because that's in the negative numbers. The money I make.
Bill shields his children from all of that, though, so we don't have to deal with it.
This has turned out to be an expensive hobby. The way I do it, which was most of this is 100% unnecessary. Because a USB mic plugged into a laptop would have got the job done, but no, I don't do things that way.
That's classic Linux, isn't it? Though, if you can find the most complicated way to do something,
and there it is. That's what we're going to go for.
That's it's like sort of the boating, and once you add the word Linux before something, the price goes up.
Oh yeah,
on certain things, like if you do with boats.
Yeah. Or
the
wedding.
Word is not.
Put
the
wedding
word is
in front
not
of something.
Yeah, the word is not complicated. It is correct.
Yes. Okay. But the shorter route is never always the best one.
No.
You wouldn't have anything to talk about, would you, if you did it the quick way?
Exactly.
And then it wouldn't be podcasts like this if everything was so simple.
I do wonder. I don't listen to them, but what could you possibly talk about on Windows? I guess it's just like you don't talk about Linux, like if it works. You talk about what you do with Linux, and I guess that's how the Windows podcasts are. Yeah. They get way past where we are. We're still debating about whether the AUR is good or not.
You mean they've got people
and they're
that
sit
on
a
podcast and talk
stuff
about Windows? Like,
no, that's Leo's point. They just talk about what they do with Windows.
Oh,
yeah. You talk about the things that you do, but the things that we do are very low down, and we talk about the system itself.
Keeping it working. That's
the massage. You gotta keep it awake, keep it alive. Unless you're running Linux Mint, in which case you just push update and don't think about it.
Yep.
But that's the interesting thing about the Mintcast podcast, right? Like, just because if you actually use the operating system, Bill, then you end up with,
which I do.
I don't believe it. I've never seen it. I've never seen you talk about Linux Mint once, like in a I use it kind of fashion.
I'm
it's
literally
always
on it right now.
No.
Mint right here, right now.
Exactly. And I never hear about it until I bring up the AUR, in which case you're always, I do use Arch, but
that's on the other
machines. Linux is always the subtext. It's always down at the bottom. But that's a good thing, because in Mintcast, you do get to talk about the other stuff, because Mint's just sitting there working.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
I think a lot of people use. Maybe I shouldn't say really, but I think a lot of people don't find it cool to use Mint. It's known as being the beginners. So when you sort of reach a point, if you're chatting with other users and you say I use Mint, some will go, are you still a beginner?
Uh-huh.
But in my experience now, just going back to it, this is incredible.
And I hate that. I hate that feeling. And I got to admit, years ago, I was guilty of it, and it was part of the reason I used it in the beginning, and then I learned from it, and then I thought, well, time to leave this behind. It just works. I'm not learning anything, and that is the path that leads you inevitably to Arch. But then you get to a point where, okay, I do like to fiddle with things, but I need a distro underneath that's just going to work, and then I can fiddle a little bit. Now I don't fiddle with this machine too much outside of I think the most complicated thing I got on this machine is the beta version of the Focusrite also Scarlet GUI, because it's got all the Vocaster stuff built into it. And let me just say, that piece of software is I want to get him on one of the shows, the guy that makes that, because it's better than the Windows Focusrite hub.
Really?
Yeah. Can you send me a link to that? Because I'm using Focusrite here now, and the Scarlet 212 something.
Yeah, I've got one of those too. I've got too much shit. I've got a 2i2, and then I've got a 4th gen Solo and a 3rd gen Solo. Or did I send you a Solo, Eric?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, so that's the one that the 3rd gen I sent to him. But then I got this Bowcaster, which is made more for podcasting, but the support for it up until very recently was very kind of hit and miss, because it's got a lot of the Focusrite stuff's got a lot of proprietary guts, a lot of brains on the inside that some simpler devices like Behringers and things like that don't have. And this guy has completely reverse engineered it with a little bit of help from Focusrite. And now the
Behringer is nothing. I mean, I was originally using a Behringer, but the quality is just not even there.
No,
but I mean, my microphone. This is the old ATR. Remember the classic ATR? Well, I shouldn't touch it. The classic ATR. This is
the Audio Technica. Audio Technica.
Yes, yeah. This is the one. The one that was. I actually ordered it in the States because they didn't sell it here. But I have another microphone, but it's a little bit tricky to use. So because it's all set up like this. So.
Oh yeah, for voiceover stuff. Yeah.
I bet that sounds really good though.
That probably sounds perfect. Look kind of funny behind that thing.
You know, I have to be honest with you. I mean, I am not an audiophile. I think the Behringer stuff, in terms of like the features you get, like cost for feature, or however you want to do that, like I think their products are actually pretty decent for just normal people.
As long as you don't buy the plastic one. The plastic audio interface.
I have the metal one. Yeah, I have the metal one, and it's
right above that is where you want. And it's not going to be as good as like the 2i2, but I think it's going to get real close. Like we're talking.
See, and Bill sent me the Solo, and I used it for a while, and I kind of switch back and forth every now and then, and I don't really see a huge difference in any shape or form. Like it just doesn't really.
For me, it was the noise floor. The noise floor was lower on the Focusrite rig, but it was
and that's what I was expecting.
Yeah, and it was by like 3 dB or something like that. So nothing that you could even ascertain throughout and whatever, because you've edited it out. So honestly, none of it actually matters. But I mean, that was the only thing. So I would be happy. I'd be 100% happy if I was using the Behringer, the metal one.
Well, and I'm sure that they have like the 2i2s and the higher end Focusrite stuff is probably more impressive than the Solo. I would gather, maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, as far as quality of sound, no, because it's just the only thing you're getting is one more output and one more input with the 2.
Yeah, because I mean, like what Leo's saying, it's just the preamps and whether like they have a decent noise floor and if there's a lot of hiss.
That's really it. It all sounds the same after that.
Yeah. And I
have to say, Eric, you sound the best. You're from hearing you now. For me, anyway, you sound the best out of everybody. I don't know what you're using.
It's this
maybe
not the Focusrite
sexy tones.
No, I'm using the Behringer. It's that Behringer, whatever I'd have to look up and see which model. It's the one that Leo's referencing, where the body is mostly metal. There's 2 channels. God, my sibilance is terrible. I'm sibilant to myself. For anyone who hates my voice on a podcast, I'm sorry that I have such sharp S's. But even to me in person, I have sharp S's. So. It's not like the microphone's fault. That I know, but I've tried. So that's why Bill sent me that Shure, and I thought, oh, okay, well and that's a different. It's not the SM7B, but it's still a Shure product. And I thought, okay, well,
no, I agree, because the Rode Podcaster and that one, because I had that one for a little while. The M7, isn't that what it is?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Those because I'm the same way. I have my S's are pretty sharp, but this is the only one that I've found that has kind of chopped that off. One of the side effects of that, that one, that the podcaster there, it really picked up on the S's.
The Rode pod mic.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, pod mic. That's what it's called.
Right.
Yeah. Is that this one chops off a little of the high end, but I mean you have to, like, that's just how that's going to work. If your S's are too sharp, you have to get rid of some of the high end.
Well, I try not to do it, but there are just certain sounds, and if I focus, I can shape my tongue so that it doesn't do it as badly. But if I focus,
there it is. Yeah.
I was doing this thing where they tell you to put a pencil like on your top lip, and there's these like tricks you can do where it's supposed to stop it from happening.
No, I just torture everyone around me.
Yeah. So anyway, I do credit this microphone, the RE320, and I see it everywhere. I see it all the time and at all levels of production, from the highest studios to the me. So,
no, it's like when you buy a car, you start seeing it everywhere. You're like, why did everybody get the same car I do?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of noticeable because it is kind of a monstrosity. It is a massive microphone. So
I bought a.
Oh, you both have it.
Yeah, we both have it.
Well, why does Bill sound terrible?
Why didn't somebody tell me that in the beginning so I could...
don't sound terrible. You sound fine.
We've already established Eric.
You sound consistent. Bill, you have one of the most consistent voices in terms of, like, your inflection, your quality, the only thing I can ever hear is if you're eating. That's all.
Okay.
So
like now.
Yeah.
No, he's not the worst though.
Or is that a custard?
Who eats? Yeah, someone eats on air all the time, and it's like they don't try to be quiet about it. They're like,
I got one or two people, when I call them out for making noise, loud noise, they get a little testy about it.
Listen,
well,
it's not me.
Spaghetti during a podcast is required.
Little carbonara. No, yeah. The polite thing to do, especially if you don't have any kind of a noise gate, is to just mute yourself. If you're not talking, and that's, I have it as a keyboard shortcut right in front of me. People have buttons, and there's different ways to do it. Just if you're going to eat, you're going to blow your nose, you're going to, whatever you're doing, just
cough.
We don't have to hear it.
Talk to somebody else in the room, that kind of.
Yeah, that one gets me too, where it's like, do you realize we can all hear? And they're talking about something
you
don't want to hear. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so I did try Mint. I did the same thing that Charlie just did, where I had been a loyal Pop! OS 2204 user for 3 years, maybe more, and really appreciated the way that their extensions, changed GNOME for the better. Kind of the perfect balance of things, like their tool set. I didn't really use the where you turn on the I can't think of the stupid window manager, like the tiling window manager. I didn't use that feature of it, but everything else I thought it was really nice, the inbuilt functionality for hybrid graphics and things like that. So anyway, they switched to Cosmic, obviously, and I thought, well, let's try Cosmic. It's just not quite ready. I mean, it's a hell of a first release, I'll give them that, but there's still just some rough edges on it. So so then I thought, let's give Mint a try again, just because, I mean, I have Mint on my desktop in the office, and have done for a very long time. So it's not like I don't use Mint. It's just I don't use it every day in front of me. And it's fine.
Another bill here.
It's fine, but Cinnamon
Let's
is.
Go ahead and share my. Let's go ahead and share my window here. It's
a screenshot from 3 years ago. Whatever.
You've got to eat the dog. Don't you Americans say I've got to eat? You've got to eat your dog.
Eat
food?
the dog food.
What's that bar at the bottom right there? What's that bar at the bottom right there? Does that say Linux Mint? Does it?
No, that's Arch with cinnamon on it, and you just changed the icon down there.
It says Linux
Mint.
Right.
You caught him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I know.
No. So anyway, I used cinnamon. There are, for as far as it has come, for as many creature comforts and niceties as it has, there are still some rough edges and things that do, in practice, their system tray to me, not a beautiful thing. Pretty ugly. Can't collapse it. There's some things about they're just like kind of feel amateurish, considering how long it's been in use and considering all the things that they've done to improve it. It just feels a little rough sometimes.
That collapsing, which seems like a small thing, I agree with you 100%, because KDE has had that in plasma since
forever.
Since the beginning.
And it's something that you use, right? I mean, most people aren't going to play with it.
I don't need to look at Steam running in the background right now. Or
yeah, KDE does a great job of letting you toggle things if you want, hide them, show them, and it does this intelligent thing where if it needs your attention or if it needs to show you something, it shows it. Very smart system, right? And it's easy because you don't have to really do anything with it. There is an add-on, an extension or whatever they call it on Cinnamon, that you can add it, and it's supposed to do that. And I've tried it several times, and it just doesn't work the way I think it's supposed to. It's way complicated for what it's supposed to do. Like I think it should just work. But anyway,
well, you have to compare it to the desktop that it's built from, right? So the collapsible thing, Windows XP has had that since 1999.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
I know.
I mean, Windows Me had it. So for it,
I'm happy to see all the icons. I've been using GNOME. You have to install a bloody extension to see your to see it,
Yeah,
and that's my big bug there.
It's a simple thing. The difference between GNOME and that, like I'm using GNOME again because I'm getting to that, but is I have my dock separately off to the left, and then I have the status bar at the top, right? And the bar is where I've got my icons and the monitors and the alerts and all that stuff has its own place. The dock is separate. When you combine them together, it starts to get a little cozy. And that's where it sort of falls apart for me. And so, I had Mint for a few weeks now. I'm on to, I was going to use Plasma because it's been so long. I used to be an avid Plasma user. That was all I used for years, and then gave up on it. GNOME's sweet siren song calling me forth. And so now I'm on CachyOS with GNOME.
Another
one of the cool kids.
Now,
one of the cool kids.
Cachy. I tried Cachy in a virtual machine.
Bill lights up, just lights up.
No, but Cachy is on a level all its own. Cachy in a virtual machine outperformed Vanilla Arch on bare metal on
hardware.
Hold on, wait, hold on, Bill. That sounds like operator error more than anything else.
I mean, I could do all the things that Cachy is doing to a Vanilla Arch install, but
there it is. Around
with like a custom kernel and all that garbage.
Oh yeah, Arch weird, very difficult to put together.
No, wait.
For me, Cachy is like buying a fancy sports car with 2 seats. Yeah, you can go super fast, but it's no good when you want to take friends out for the day because they're packed in the back like this. It just doesn't. You might get the speed, but you just.
But what are you not getting though? So the only thing with that analogy I don't get is like, what is it that you're not like? How are the seats being removed? Because basically, to me, the analogy would be taking the family van and putting a V8 in it. Right, putting a much faster engine like that. That's sort of how it feels. But just sort of getting past that point, having been on it for a week now, I'm remembering why I don't run Arch.
Okay,
because
I think
I don't
that might
need
be
updates 3 times a day. I don't need.
There you go. I think that was his
packages.
point.
I don't need like all of the mess that Arch brings to my life. So here I am again.
That's the whole point. I think Arch was.
I don't like Fedora.
You put the V8 in the family van, and then you're going to be turning the wrench to keep it running
constantly. Exactly. It no longer becomes a dependable family vehicle.
Absolute nonsense.
Oh no!
There are things come along every once, and I mean the last thing I had.
Then why are you not running Arch on the machine that you're on right now, Bill? Tell me this.
Because I don't want to be a phony. I'm on Mintcast. I want to.
So that's the only reason.
I mean,
you would
start as I go on. You know what I mean?
That is not a good reason.
I know you're doing a terrible job of selling this to me, Charlie. You win it.
We talk about the stuff that Mint is doing, and the truth is, I've got enough distros running all over the place in this house. I've got Arch on 2 machines, well, actually 4 machines upstairs, and then Ubuntu server running here behind me, and then down below. If I'm going to talk about Mint, because we are the preeminent Mint podcast, and it's been around for a long time. I like people to think that I know what I'm on about, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Really good facade.
No, and listen, dog fooding is an admirable thing. I do it. Like I said, in my desktop, it has been on Mint for, I don't know, the better part of a decade. Like, no joke. It is the reliable system that I put on a workstation whenever I don't want anything to break. Now, the annoying part, the reason I went with rolling, is I am sick of upgrades. I am tired of being comfortable. Everything's put it together the way I want. And then within a year, we got a new release for you.
Yeah.
You know, you could stay on that one you're on, but, you know, eventually it's going to run out. And like, that is the one annoying thing about the the release cadence of and anything based on Ubuntu, essentially, where you just have this twice a year. If you're not on an LTS, if you're on an LTS, okay, you buy yourself a little more time. Like I was,
which
on
is Mint.
Pop. Well, and I was on with Pop because Pop was on 2204, ran it up until just a few weeks ago or a month ago, and had no issues with it. Yeah, I was on a much older version of GNOME. Who cares? Like, that's the difference. If you don't care.
The thing that used to irritate me about GNOME on Arch was because you were getting the latest version of GNOME, the latest version of GNOME.
It would break all the time, and your plugins were just busted.
Your plugins would break all the time. Your
extensions and stuff,
because you were outpacing. Arch was outpacing the extension.
Well, that's the problem at the moment, because the person who reviews the extensions of GNOME has been off. So that's why they're very far behind now with GNOME 50, reviewing the extensions. So it's all catch up at the moment. So everything is delayed because of this one person who's not been testing them.
Yeah.
It's a bit upsetting. You know, it's always irritated me, the fact that you can jump ahead, but like you say, you don't have the extensions, the ones that you want to use.
You know where that comes up always is if you're trying to do any kind of beta testing. So like you can get GNOME 50 now, but none of the extensions are going to work because, or not none, but most of them are going to have that version issue at minimum, if not something larger.
And
because
I just love that I don't run any extensions when I run GNOME, so I don't have to deal with that at all.
I run a very select few. To Charlie's point, I have to have a tray. I can't not have a tray. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I live in the world of computers where programs expect a system tray.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's not my fault. It is what it is. And there's a couple little things.
You can choose.
I do like having a dock. I like having window controls. So I think I use dash to dock, the tray. I use one for a clipboard manager, and I think that's it.
Oh, clipboard managers make me feel so icky all the time. I hate them.
I do a lot of work where I need to recall.
Right.
I need that because I'm just constantly
You do it like we used to do it back in the day. You put it all in Notepad and copy and paste from Notepad uphill both ways. Okay.
Yeah. Until you forget to copy that one thing, and then you're like, shit.
Well, you won't do that again, will you?
Yeah, you will. You will.
Yep.
And then
you will. But don't worry, it wasn't on the clipboard either.
I would never use one in an environment where like I was truly worried about security and stuff like that. And even then, like you can tell Bitwarden not to copy things to the clipboard. I mean, there are ways around it. Anyway.
Well, I tell Bitwarden to clear my clipboard every few seconds, actually. So if I'm not fast enough, then it just goes away and I have to redo it.
Yeah.
So anyway, is that for security reasons you do that, or
paranoia mostly?
Mainly.
I don't know how much security it's given me, but it's definitely tickling the paranoia itch.
Because that's something.
I mean, to be fair, if someone's infiltrated your system, they're already capturing either keystrokes or
Eric, you've already infiltrated my system. You're talking from experience here.
I have. I've seen it all, Leo.
I knew it.
You think you're slick, but you're not slick.
He's got you.
So that was nice. I mean, I must admit, it's key pass XC. That one won't copy on GNOME. It won't copy to your. When you do a copy, it doesn't go into your clipboard history.
Well, you can tell Bitwarden to do the same thing, or Proton Pass, or I
couldn't get Bitwarden to. I mean, it will remove it, but it's still in there. So if you were held at gunpoint,
okay.
I suppose. But
mine.
That's what my experience was.
Okay.
I can't remember. I used to use KeyPass XC, and I can't remember what that function was that would do that. Like, what was it doing? It just, you can copy paste it one time, and then it'd be gone.
You can copy it, but it just wouldn't go into the history of a.
That's
so you couldn't see it. You could copy and paste it, but you just wouldn't go into the history of the clipboard.
Let me ask you this. So the history of that clipboard, does that exist only in memory, or is that actually written to a file somewhere?
It's in temp, isn't it? It gets deleted when you reboot or something like that. Or
that's gross. Okay, so I'm justified in my paranoia then, because it's writing to
I
the
could
disk.
be wrong. What I do, I've got one machine. I got one machine where I change the file where all your clipboard stuff goes. I gave that to the root. That way the regular user just can't even write to it. So how
many regular users are on your system, Bill?
One.
Please. Yeah, exactly. You're the guy.
So
you're trying to prevent yourself.
What I'm trying to say is I understand the paranoia. I don't want that to exist anywhere.
Yeah. The only thing that would make me feel better about that is full disk encryption, but it's such a it feels like such a kludge.
Oh, well, that's another thing easy to set up on Arch during the install.
Are you
talking
kidding?
about Lux encryption? Oh yeah, you tell it to encrypt the entire. You can choose the drives during install time.
This is with the script.
Well, it generates a script with the Arch.
Yeah,
install
you're using Endeavor at that point.
No,
same thing.
Endeavor is Calamari's and you do not get the options.
Just because Arch install uses the spacebar to check stuff and Endeavor uses a mouse does not. No, they're the same thing. They're the same thing.
You just don't get the options with Endeavor. With Arch, you can install a ButterFS installation, full ButterFS if you wanted to, and it takes full advantage of all of the. It knows. It doesn't just give you everything in the root and then it may be a separate home if you tell it to. It separates out var.
What?
And then
Endeavor does that?
With ButterFS?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but I know that the Arch install will do it. But your encryption, being able to encrypt the entire drive is another cool thing that you can do. And you can choose whether or not to use LVFS and all that.
So no matter what file system you decide on the low end or whatever, you could just throw Lux on top of it and it just works. It is just like a checkbox.
No, I mean, because Lux is a layer below that, so it doesn't matter what file system you use.
Well, I do have to dote on Cosmic a little bit because during their installer, it's the same way, right? Like by default, the box is checked. You're gonna encrypt your hard drive unless you uncheck that. So in the newer Cosmic in the beta, all that, it is checked by default. Yeah, so we did a live stream on it or whatever, and I was very surprised that is the case. And I said that is absolutely how it should be, no matter what Linux you're running. It needs to be encrypted by
Unless
default.
You're the kind of person that sets passwords and then forgets them. You're completely SOL.
But this is also where they excel because we can debate whether or not it's a good practice. But the password that you set, they don't ask you for an encryption password. That's the thing. So they enable encryption by default, and then that's it. You check the box. They never talk about it again. Your thing is just encrypted. They use the same password that you create for your user. So it's just copied over to the Lux.
Oh, so it's
the same password. Yeah. So if you forget that password, you were already kind of SOL. You already needed another Ubuntu live disk to be able to reset your password or whatever. But I think those two things together, on by default and using the same password as your login password, is already a huge improvement over the way that Linux has been having us do it for years and years and years and years and years and years and years.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it, man.
I mean, I use it on my laptops. I probably should use encryption on this one, but I just don't. This thing just
no one's
right
gonna
up
run
and-
off with that. But I think
Knock on
though
wood.
that like that is that's the calculus we've been making forever. Is like, do we want to deal with the hassle of setting it up or the hassle of remembering a separate key or whatever? And we're choosing the less secure option because it's more convenient, right? But if it were just super convenient to have it on by default every single time, all the time, then I think more of us would be choosing encryption every single time. Even in the situations like you're talking about, Bill, where I'm talking about, where your desktop's not going to walk away, but on the super off chance that the Mossad comes and gets you,
well, people's
your disk
houses
is
get
encrypted.
broke into.
Right.
That's just
Yeah, it's not
a reality.
Right.
I
And
think
then
you can also-
you don't want all your Nextcloud, someone putting that on the internet for ransomware, as a ransom.
I think it's also a sell whenever you try to, this is, encryption, security in general, right? And the convenience of it. So whenever you're running a Linux system and it's prompting for authentication for a root action, right? And someone who doesn't use a system like that, where they can just touch a button instead of putting in a password or something, that can be an annoyance. But if you normalize it and you just say, look, there's a good reason for it, it's not that difficult, you do it ever so often, and
they've
like,
already
that's
checked
just,
out.
I understand that, but I'm just saying
it's not that hard. No, they're done.
but you normalize it, like, and that's the thing, like, you just make people do it, right?
Well,
I mean,
right.
that's
You do it in the way that Cosmic is doing it, in the way that Mac OS does it. You
Right.
don't even know that your
That it's
stuff is
happening.
encrypted.
right.
And like, it only shows up when you're like, oh no, my phone's cracked. How do I get my files off? Does it ever come up that,
Yeah.
I hope you were logged into iCloud and syncing all your stuff because it's on.
Eon's actually quite good on that. Have you tried the Eon desktop? That automatically uses the T2 chip. So if you've got a T2 chip, it'll just does it automatic. Everything's automatic, so it just reboots and installs everything by itself. It does everything. I didn't have a lot of success myself with it because it kept asking me for the encryption key. So after a couple of uses, it rebooted and then it's the encryption key. You stood there trying to. You can't copy and paste. So you've got to enter it slowly.
Yeah, that was the other thing
pain.
about Lux, is that like you couldn't actually use a real good password with Lux if you were rebooting a lot, especially because it's massively cumbersome to get into. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not quite sure how. What I've done here on Linux Mint is I've just used the encrypt the home directory. Mm-hmm. Normally, I would use Lux, but everything except, of course, the boot partition. Because if you encrypt that, then your boot time turns to half an hour. But I'm not too sure how strong it is. This is something I have to look into now. Does anybody know that, how strong the encrypt your home drive is? Is that strong on Linux Mint, or?
I think it's strong, but I think it's using the default entropy, which is
just uses your password, your regular password.
Well, I mean, as far as like the strength of the cipher, I think is just the default 128 bits or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll take people years to get into it instead of decades.
It's still strong enough, then, isn't it? Yeah.
But not like quantum resistant.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Quantum. You got to say it now. You got to say it now. It's the disclaimer on everything. They're gathering our encrypted data because when quantum computing comes around.
I mean, but they are. That's not a conspiracy theory.
True. Yes.
Yeah, it is true. I'm not saying it's not true.
What is that data center in Utah, Eric? What are they doing with that?
Oh, they're storing it all so that 20 years from now they can find out that I sent my doctor an email or something like
that. With your Bitwarden, is your Bitwarden, do you use the standard Bitwarden encryption or do you step it up? Because you can take it to a stronger encryption, which I do. It takes a little bit longer to decrypt, but it's worth doing, they say.
Yeah.
Because I did it years ago.
Yeah, the thing about that is if any of your passwords have not changed since you've upgraded that encryption, they're just as vulnerable. Because if people have that database prior, I mean, because all they need is your email address, right? And then you can download the database. and then you can start hacking away at it. Yeah, if you have the same password from before you increase the cipher strength, yeah, it's not helping you. The cipher strength isn't helping you right now.
Well,
those
this
are
is why I'm
problems for
Problems.
for some other day.
Future
Yeah.
us.
Don't worry. There's only 800 passwords in there. We could change them all lickety split. It's easy.
Oh, they're doing this new weak password thing that is really obnoxious.
On Bitwarden?
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you just let
they're
it?
not weak passwords, and they keep doing this, like insisting, and it can be one of like 3 or 4 different reasons, so they don't even tell you why they think it's weak.
Oh, dude, this is my favorite. This is my absolute favorite conversation in security because everybody can relate. That I think it took a long time, and NIST finally caught up. Right when you hear the story of how NIST created the password complexity requirements for the entire world to use, but U.S. centric. It was just a few phone calls to a bunch of companies that were implementing password like password strength protocols, and they kind of averaged them out and was like, all right, well, that's the national standard then. But then after 20, 30 years of research, they found out that those are probably the worst choices you could ever possibly make, right? The uppercase, the lowercase, the special characters, the maximum or minimum length, all of that kind of stuff. You found out that they're not bad because they're just inherently bad. They're bad because humans implement them, right? As in, a human has to come up with that password. And you find out pretty quickly that everybody starts to fudge it, right? Because then you have like the super complex password, and then you have to change it every 30 days. And then so people just do this thing where it's like super complex password 1, super complex password 2. And then at that point, once you find one of those, you can kind of guess on the next and actually get into the system. But the new requirement, and this is what I had been saying for years and years and years, because I've been on both sides of it, right? Implementing both the actual passwords as an admin and dealing with it, logging into services. It's much, much better to just have a stupidly long password. That's it. Like your favorite book, chapter 4, the first. You did? How?
Yeah, I have a few. I have a few passwords where I'm using like a passphrase.
Yeah.
And it's like who knows how long. Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
They're coming in to get your passwords, dude.
That was
your
door slamming.
It's my daughter playing volleyball against the wall outside because of course she is.
It's trying to break in, dude. I'm telling you. You better up that cipher.
It's trying to break the door.
Oh.
You have to go break her butt.
To get into your safe, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost Charlie.
Oh my! I don't know. They got him. They came. He said
Did you guys
too much.
lose him too?
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah, he's. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, now he's back.
Well, me and Charlie are gonna hang out for a while
no, he's back.
Figures out Video Ninja. I can see everybody. Yeah.
Oh, I can't see it.
Now you're back. Ninja.
Wait a minute. How am I the only one having a good time with Video Ninja today? It's usually me having trouble even getting in.
I'm trying new settings on it, and right now I'm letting it run.
During the episode, he's just flipping switches.
No. It was part of the URL string that you guys the redirect that you guys used. Right now I'm running it at 720p. Each one of you's got a 720p stream, but if it was to be unstable, I was going to switch to another one, which puts everybody in a 420p stream. That way it's
put everybody in 180i. Come on.
180i.
Yeah, man.
There's still TV channels that are using 180i.
Yeah, run me like Super Mario Brothers. Let's go.
Yeah. Yep. That's what we ought to do. Square. That way I can fit more of us on here.
Yeah, just make me with 16 pixels. That's good enough.
Yeah. It seems to be all right.
There's probably a filter for this, Bill.
What's that?
On Video Ninja, there's probably a pixelated filter. You can just do it for me.
There's a lot you can do with this. I've just started to kind of scratch the surface on ways to, because I asked AI. You'll love it. What can I do to improve the performance for everybody? And it gave me some switches to add to the URL, and almost immediately I found mistakes with that because they had made changes to the syntax of some of those.
AI being out of date?
Yeah.
No, no.
I mean, it's never perfect.
To be fair, if we're going to go down that road, that's just the same thing that would happen if you went and found it on Stack Overflow or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But on Stack Overflow,
didn't get updated or something.
Yeah, but on Stack Overflow, it would be your fault because at the top they mentioned I'm using version whatever, and you just ignored it. Versus ChatGPT or any of the other LLMs where it's like, this is definitively the correct answer. You know,
they do
like
present it with that sort of big dick energy, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. Let me rephrase.
But then when you correct them, like, actually, no, that's not the switch anymore. Oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. So go ahead and do this, this, and this. That's whatever.
What?
You know? It's evolving. Look, it's here, whether you want to believe it or not, and it's not going to go away. It's not a bubble that's going to burst.
Hold on. The first thing you are correct. The second thing you are not correct.
No,
it is here, and we have to accept it, but it doesn't have to stay. It doesn't.
It doesn't have to, but it will. It will continue to evolve, be iterated upon, shoved in our face.
That's just
everywhere.
Because some people have way too much money to throw at solutions that aren't solutions. They're solutions looking for problems.
I think
it
some of
doesn't
it will
do
calm
anything
down.
Amazing.
I think you'll see less and less of this trying to cram it into every little thing as time goes on. Well, I mean, Microsoft has even mentioned that they're going to do some work to Windows to try to.
And then immediately the debacle with GitHub. Okay, yeah, I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all that Microsoft is going to scale back. I think they're going to hide it the way that, by the way, Claude, their little leak, right? When Claude Code is interacting with open source software, like on GitHub or on Codeberg or wherever, it has been instructed to work undercover. Do not let anybody know. Don't lead anybody on to believe that it is Claude Code that is submitting this or has been involved in this at all. It's supposed to remove any reference to itself before actually submitting any code to anybody. Right?
So out of sight, out of mind, right?
But that's the thing, right? Like you have all of these projects that are staunchly anti-AI, and you're having and you're instructing your AI agent to do this as stealthily as possible so they don't know. That is what I mean. That is the attitude of all of the AI stuff. Everybody just needs to shut up and enjoy the AI because it's good for them and they don't know it yet. You know, like.
And we're justified in taking any means necessary to get to the end game. Yep, absolutely.
But I will say, I didn't think out of all of this that my opinion of Meta would step up one notch. They are in court right now arguing that torrenting and piracy is legal. So, I mean, is Meta all bad? You know,
yes,
changing my stance.
Definitely.
They're just getting in front of it.
I can't hear Eric, so I don't know if he's speaking, and I can't see him or hear him. But I mean, they have found out that Meta are the ones that have been pushing for the age. They're the ones that have spent so much money on trying to get the age verification on the OS level, so they're not responsible for all the issues of the. What do you call it over there? C-SPAN, I think it's or something it's called.
C-SAM.
C-SAM, and all the other things that they get on the platform.
Yeah,
so I mean, they've spent a fortune. I mean, it's incredible how much money they've spent.
Yeah, no, I think once you hit a certain user threshold, I think you're responsible now. It is you. I don't know how many users that is. Maybe it's 1 million. Maybe it's less. Maybe it's more. I don't know. But once you hit a certain number. And there's image sharing things that you can do on whatever platform it is, I think you're now liable for dealing with any of that. And if people don't like it, they can leave, and they should leave. But I guess
they won't.
Right. They absolutely won't. But I think Cory Doctorow's got it right. The reason that Facebook won was because of interop. the ability for Facebook to reach into MySpace and then present MySpace data on Facebook. So it was easy to just swap over. It was easy to use Facebook and MySpace at the same time, but you were at facebook.com, right? And then the entire time lobbying the government to make it illegal to do exactly what they did, right? So if we just made that legal again, I think we'd be just fine, because you could have all of the crappy Twitter tweets that you wanted through Mastodon. And then there would be no, well, I mean, there would still be friction because you had to click one extra box when you sign up for Mastodon. So obviously it's unusable trash. But you would be able to use Mastodon, but also bring in your Twitter and your Instagram and your whatever else. It would be nice. It would be nice to have something like that.
But once if that took off, if anything that takes off and starts having millions of users, somewhere along the line, I doubt anything could remain innocent and sweet.
No,
when they've got 1 million users.
But that's my point, right? Like once you're popular enough to be used as kind of a default or whatever, I mean, it's the way of the world. Bad people are going to use you, so you're going to need to have some kind of security or privacy controls that prevent some of the bad stuff that everybody's clamoring for to not happen. I mean, I know we don't want it, but I think no matter where you go, you're going to legislate it. It's going to happen.
I think malware now on Linux has gone up. I was hearing today that I think in this year alone, it's more than all the others put together. Don't quote me on that, but it's been the amount of malware they're finding now is huge in comparison what it is now, because it's getting more popular.
Yeah.
So you can't escape. The only way to escape is not to use it. That's basically it.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that funny? Linux is so big now we have to move to BSD. You hear that, Bill? You gotta figure out how Arch on BSD works.
I don't know if you guys can hear me or not.
I can.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one of the arguments that I always make to people. They're like, we want everybody to use Linux. I'm like, do you?
Yeah.
Do you really?
I don't.
Yeah.
I never
Is that something, a world you want to live in where everyone, like Linux becomes the attack surface?
I have no idea what Eric said. Oh, I've gone again.
He says that he wants everybody to use Linux, and Linux should be the new attack surface. That's what he said. And I think that's incorrect. But
thanks,
honestly, though,
it's very helpful.
I know. You're welcome. But I don't know, man. Like that is kind of the thing, though. Like it's happening. We see the SteamDB showing higher than 5% adoption on Linux gaming machines. So I mean, there is a move in that direction where more and more people are actually using Linux. Yeah. So, I mean, so we want to slow that down, Eric? Is that what you're saying? You want to discourage people?
I think the fallacy of, like, first of all, I don't even know why people, if they even know why they're doing it. Like, why do you advocate so hard for everyone to use Linux?
Oh, yeah.
Why does it even have to happen? Like, I watch these channels and they're so fervent about, and I get that you don't like corporations. You think everybody else should have this choice. And
that's the thing. They really truly don't care about the Linux layer of it. They what they want when they're convincing you really hard to use Linux, what they want is for you to care about the same things they care about.
Yeah.
And that is the privacy aspect of it, the security aspect of it, the nicheness of it, all of the things that come along with Linux. I think that is what those fervent folks are really after. They want you to care about it too. Whatever it is, Linux is a byproduct of that fervor. It just happens to be what they latch onto because it's easy, because they use it and it's theirs. And
I mean, you think about this situation where, okay, you already have situations where there's one maintainer, like a handful of people maintaining critical pieces of software. They're getting pressure, so much pressure now between all the AI commits and, just there's it's like the perfect storm of more people on the platform, more need for help now than there's ever been. And, people are using these AI tools. Claude's hiding itself. I see a situation where we can really lose our identity, lose the good parts of what open source software really is and provides to the people who care about it, because of the rest of this coming in on top of it and really crushing it under that weight. I mean,
You truly don't. You don't lose your identity. I think what happens is the developers will change based on what they see as the new kind of, not necessarily popular idea, but just seems like the majority want this, so I'm going to move this way. If a developer stayed true to themselves, built exactly what they wanted, and took advice, sure, but built what they wanted, I don't think you would lose that identity. I don't think you would lose what makes open source open source. I mean, you can reject commits all you want. So it doesn't have to go that way. But I think popularity and ego and a few other things kind of push developers that way.
Well, even resistance to change, right? Sorry, go ahead. You're good.
No, Bill's trying to kill our conversation, Eric.
Yeah,
I know.
Nobody's paying attention to the time, and I got to get over to the round table and blah, blah, blah. Same shit, different week. So, yeah, there you have it, folks.
No, you don't, because we didn't finish.
You didn't finish, but you're not paying attention to time.
What time is it?
10-2.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's our show. Unfortunately, we have to end it like this every time. Let us know what you think, folks. Show at linuxotc.org. Hit us up on Mastodon or Discord. Links to both of those on our website, linuxotc.org. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Until then, I'm Bill.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Leo.
See you.